Sure. This is Eric. BTI is based out of Chicago, LA, Phoenix, and Minneapolis. And our company is a company that grew up in the voice space. We started in 1985. We started in Chicago and expanded first to LA in 2001, to Phoenix in 2007, and to Minneapolis in 2010. On the voice side, we were for a very long time an Intertel partner, so we're now a Mitel partner supporting the customers that we sold with Accesses and 5000s with the Mitel MyVoice product line, and we have a very large base of CTAP-like agreements with those systems on them. And then we became a ShoreTel partner in 2007, and this last year we were a gold partner for the first time with ShoreTel. So that means we purchased over $1 million at wholesale from them. We also do data center services, storage, virtualization, and managed services. But before joining TAG, all we did managed service for was remote hands in the data center and network routing and switching and security and unified communications and contact center. Since joining TAG, we've been working on ramping up and offering managed service as well at the server and desktop level using Continuum, and we're pretty darn excited about that right now. Scott, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Perfect. Thanks.
Well, thanks, guys. Welcome to the Discovery team. I know you guys got to meet your team at StarCon, but just wanted to make sure we properly introduced you as a group. So with that, I think you guys are getting the idea that we want to have a member present on every conference call, 10, 15 minutes just on something special they do or something that they find that, the group would benefit from. And today we're going to have Howard Davis from Daytel, and he's just going to talk a little bit about his company, where it started, little history, and just so we get to know him and get to know each one of these new guys as they join the group as well. So, Howard, I'm going to pass you control and let you take over the screen.
Right, this is a little tricky there.
You should be good, and then you just hit page down when you want to go to the next page.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
if you want me to change it, I'll change it for you as well.
All right, we'll give it a shot here. Well, to introduce myself, I'm Howard Davis, and I'm the owner of Daytel Communications. And Daytel is a company that's been in business quite a few years, selling mostly Toshiba telephone systems. Let's see. I got my page down going here. You may have to change the page for me here. All right, very good. The company is 35 years old. It was started in 1978, 5 years before the divestiture of the phone company. And of course, back in those days, every sale was a struggle. You were fighting the biggest company in the world at that point. I started out working for another interconnect company back in those days, and found mostly what they were selling is more profitable phone systems, but they simply didn't hold up over time. There was the Keylux. There were a lot of no-name systems that were being sold back then, and it was very frustrating because the service quality was terrible. Out of frustration, I left there, and at 19, I started Daytel. And I did that for a few years, and in 1980, I became a Toshiba dealer, which I think at that point I was the youngest dealer they ever put on. We're still a Toshiba dealer today, and we're still moving quite a bit of product. But our company really was based on the quality of what we were selling and a reputation that followed that. Let's see. Okay, next page. There we go. Okay, our target market was mostly small to medium-sized companies, and I think we were probably a little intimidated by the several hundred phone system customers. I think that was just a little too large for us to handle. But most of the business out there was small to medium-sized companies, and we just chewed those up. We just kept going one after the other. And back in those days, we sold mostly how many lines, how many phones do you need. You gave them a price and installed it quickly. And that's how it was done back then, just how many lines, how many phones. And with that, we were able to sell thousands and thousands of phone systems. I think at one point we had about 6,500 customers. Our geography was mostly eastern Massachusetts. So it's a very densely populated area. And as you start to move outward from the Boston area, it becomes almost rural as you move out of there. So we really stayed right within that whole horseshoe area of the Boston area, and did very well. We continued buying up competitors who were in the area as well. For whatever reason, if the economy took a dip and they wanted to get out of the business, we would buy them up. So we simply kept adding more customers within the same area. Okay, next page. And by selling only Toshiba products, again, they had many generations of equipment out there. By offering just simply Toshiba, we could stock the inventory, and also our employees could all become trained on every system that we had, giving a very strong comfort level to our customers. Instead of trying to locate parts from multiple brands, we simply had everything in stock, could get it done quickly, and move on to the next job. So it really gave our customers some real good personalized service. And for us too, we weren't tripping over our own feet chasing after parts. Okay, next page, Dave.
Hold on there. There we go.
Okay. What we would do is go into a customer, and we appeared to be more of a consultant. In other words, we would find out what they needed and make the suggestion. And I think that was a unique thing back in the earlier days of this business, is we would sit with a customer, we would custom tailor a phone system to them, and it really appeared that we were consulting with exactly what their needs were. In fact, we really were, but it turned into some real good salesmanship. I've got salesmen on the road that can sell up to 3 systems a day. People don't believe me when I say that. But there's one salesman here in particular that he comes in and says, I have a 3 for day today. He actually closed 3 deals in one day. And it's not unusual. 1, 2, but 3 is not an unusual day here for a particular salesperson. And let's see. All right, we can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when we first started, I rented a spot in the industrial park where we're in, which again is just south of Boston. We're just about 20 minutes south of the city. Rented a small area of space, and since then we continued expanding. And I many years ago purchased the office building that we're in, and actually continued buying other buildings around it. Built additional office buildings. All the while, Daytel was continuing to add, lots of clients. Dozens of employees, but right at this point, I would say the number is about 2 dozen. So we do have about 24 employees working here, and we're still a large Toshiba dealer. And I don't know where we stand as far as rating, as far as #1 dealer on the East Coast. But at one point, we were selling more Toshiba equipment than any other dealer, on the East Coast. And lastly, I've done some very, very creative marketing. In fact, that's really how we've done it, was any type of creative marketing to get ourselves known. And a lot of it was the lettering on our trucks. Every one of our trucks is lettered up, with distinctive logos and fairly bright-looking trucks. But I've done trade shows, and I go to Chamber of Commerce meetings and different type of group meetings. And when I do that, some of you have seen the automobile that I drive there. And when you have a vehicle like you're seeing on the screen, everybody knows who you are. Everybody wants to come over and see it. They want to talk to you. They want to have a conversation. And something like that very simply gets turned into a sale. You're able to make friends with people. You're able to talk with them. They understand what you do, what your business is. And when they're ready to buy a phone system, you're the first person that comes to mind. So we've leveraged that vehicle. And we use it again in parades. We use it in any type of shows, anywhere I can get that vehicle out there. And it is a licensed, drivable vehicle, but we use it to the full extent. And For
An
35
Audi
years.
1A2.
It's a 1A2, yeah. But it's the
An Audi 1A2.
right.
New model.
It's the model 2500, yeah, the Audi 2500. And that's pretty much what Daytel has done. Now we've joined TAG, and the reason we joined TAG is the business model that we've known for so many years is changing. As everybody knows, it's changing. It's turning into maintaining networks. It's turned into recurring billing, and with that, we find ourselves needing to evolve with the industry, and that's where we are today. So right now, we're looking to move forward, and I'll let it go from there.
Hey, thanks, Howard. I think it's good that, as we get new members in, that we do a formal introduction and let everyone get to know you. So I appreciate that. Does anyone have any just questions or comments for Howard?
Hey, Howard, this is Brian at TAG. Good to hear from you. Hey, real quick, can you just share with, you've been in TAG since about April, can you just share with your team kind of, you've been pretty immersed into what we've been able to provide to you. Can you just mention to the team kind of some of the things that you and your company has done so far?
Well, we're looking to pull everything together at the same time. We're using your techniques to start to hire technicians, customer advocates. We're starting to interview customer advocates, where we actually had a couple of people go to the customer advocate training already. But I'm looking now to at salespeople the same way. We haven't pulled the trigger on a lot of it yet, but all of the pieces are starting to converge now that we're able to have the big picture start to come together for us. And again, it's so tough after all these years to turn on a dime, but we're pulling all the pieces together to actually do that.
Excellent. Well, I think you've done a real nice job getting immersed. I know that Howard has a very bright and intelligent son that he's brought into the business. He's about 23. I had an opportunity to spend some time with him and Howard at sales training a couple weeks ago in Newark. Howard sent some people to customer advocacy, and obviously many of you met him at StarCon. So again, as we move into the first discovery meeting, live meeting of the year, which Dave will talk about momentarily, I know Eric and Scott are on this call. Love to have, at that live meeting, have you guys do something similar to what Howard did. And then we'll have the folks over at Dominion from Richmond, Virginia, to do the same thing, too. So thanks, Howard, for the time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Howard, and welcome to the group.
Thank you.
So next, I want to talk about, before it gets too far out, I know would love to get, I know we traded some emails back and forth, but any comments about StarCon and kind of some of the Discovery team's key takeaways, what we did right, what you'd like to see changed, what could be done differently to make it a little more effective, efficient. Just wanted to open it up to you guys on that and hear some of your guys' comments regarding StarCon. Steve Sawtelle, how about you?
Well, I thought it was great. I've talked to some other people, and I thought you guys really found the right mix of serious stuff and fun stuff. Past events, I know sometimes I felt like I just, was bombarded with stuff, and others maybe didn't get filled up enough. And I just thought you guys really hit the bullseye on the mix of stuff. I guess the only thing I thought could have been done a little differently, and I'm not sure how you would do it better, but the meeting with the sponsors, to me, was just a little discombobulated. But I mean, overall, I was a raving fan.
Yeah, so in the past, and I've only been to a couple New Orleans and San Diego here, but we sometimes will jam you, give you scheduled meetings for those sponsor meetings, and it's just too much, and you feel like you're just a herd of cattle. And this time we probably maybe went too far the other way and left it open. So maybe we'll find that happy medium for those sponsor meetings and figure it out that, somewhere in the middle there, I think is what we're looking for. So thanks for the input. How about you, Jeff?
You want my input on the
Yeah.
CAP meeting? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The restaurants were all really good. I enjoyed, going out with the Discovery Group, that first night there, and then, I really learned a lot the Monday and Tuesday night going out with the sponsors and, meeting, the upper management of both Great America and Clear Flag. As far as the meeting with the various sponsors, I do have to agree with Steve on that. It was kind of discombobulated, but I also understand. I've been to enough of them to know that sometimes you do feel like cattle being herded from one room to another. So I think you guys probably did the best you could, as far as hooking us up with with your sponsors.
Right. Yeah, and you guys aren't the only Star team to have that. I think we'll keep tweaking, keep making changes, and keep making it a really great event. We're really looking forward to Nashville next year. So we're taking all this input and how we continue to improve these national meetings. So appreciate that. I'll open it. Anyone else have any just quick comments on that, and we'll move on?
There was one more thing I was going to say, Dave.
Sure.
I really like the part or the way that the morning meetings where we would actually have other TAG members come up and talk about hunting elephants and all of the other stuff. That was good too.
Yeah, and I think we picked that up. We've been doing the Star meetings for a while, and we picked up that it's good to have you guys get up there and talk and hear from other members, and I thought I agree with you. I thought all our member presentations were fantastic. So yeah, it's something I think we're going to keep going, and definitely keep it going during the Star team meetings as well. So real quick, I don't want to keep us on the phone here too long today. Any other comments before we move on off of StarCon? All right. So next is the budget. I know a lot of you, some of you have already submitted, and I'll be setting up meetings starting next week to go over your budgets with you, and I'll set those up. Actually heading to Seattle this week for a financial class. So next week is when I'll start, for those of you that have submitted, start setting up the one-on-one meetings and tweak the budget so we're ready to go for 2014. But I just want to remind those of you that haven't, this is a good thing that we're doing here at TAG with myself, Griselda, putting it together and being able to track and create a game plan for your 2014, because if you put it on paper and then track against it on a monthly, probably more realistically quarterly basis, we can make changes sooner than later. We can, make business decisions that will affect your company be a little more profitable for the year. In the past, we would meet and maybe come to a financial class and we'd look at the past 12 months, which is great, and understand what happened and make changes, but those 12 months are gone. With this, we're able to create that budget using the TAG metrics and then be able to measure against those on a quarterly basis once we determine that, yeah, this is the right budget, this is what's going on. So I want you all to take advantage of it. Your year-to-date November P&L with some payroll detail and your current org chart, and we can have a budget back to you and start setting that up. And like I said, we'll have one-on-one meetings starting next week and the week after, and then after that, I think we'll get a little hectic around the holidays, but we'll definitely get to everybody by the end of a couple weeks from now. So take advantage send me what you got, and we'll get you going and set up on that. So look forward to working on that with you guys.
Hey, Dave, this is Dale.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
As a STAR team, member, I think this is one of the things that, as a group, that we could really help each other with is how we get budgets and so forth. I know what we've been able to do here with VoiceSmart and the modeling and using what TAG has to offer. And, it took us a while to get everything implemented, but, our financials and the reporting information and how we control things have really, really helped accelerate our business and help develop our plan. And, this doesn't happen overnight, but I think if we wanted a particular, direction for the STAR team, if we get everybody to really understand the value of having these financial statements put in a particular format, and then start understanding the 12 economic indicators, and now that we got MSP and cloud services, how we've integrated that into the financials, I think that would be a major a movement forward. So I'd just like to get everyone's opinion of what, do we want to make this one of the things that we actually get accomplished, is that we all end up with, proper reporting? Anybody can comment on that if they like.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
All right, then I'll continue pushing you guys and contact you on an individual basis. Like I said, for those that have already submitted, I have everything and just need to set up the one-on-ones. And then those that haven't, I'll reach out to you and make sure we want to move forward with this. It is something, we would never share your financials with anyone else other than myself here at TAG. But we can come to our live meetings and talk percentages, talk, certain things. Whatever you're comfortable with, we can easily have conversations without sharing the information. If it's too sensitive or something you don't want to share, we can have great conversations without sharing specifics. So don't feel scared that, I'm going to share my financials with everyone and now everyone knows. Obviously, we're confidential with it, and we'll share what you're willing to share and talk in generalities and percentages versus specifics. So don't let that be a hindrance when you want to set this up. All right, thanks, Dale. And then Brian wanted to announce a couple webinars. You still on with us, Brian?
Yeah, why don't we do that at the end and kind of leapfrog to why don't you go to the date for the discovery meeting, and I think it would be a good idea to spend the balance talking about the potential agenda and what the team would like to see on that agenda for January, and then if we have time left, we can review some of the new webinars. If not, everyone will see communication on those new webinars coming out shortly here.
Yeah, we'll just blast emails, and that's probably a little better time spent. So I know Steve sent an email out, I believe it was last week, kind of getting us geared up for the conference call and the live meeting, and I'm with you, Steve. Being in San Diego in January is a lot better than the poor Pioneer team in Chicago the week after. So it's going to be nice. We're looking forward to that meeting. Need you guys all to register. It's January 16th and 17th. Just get on the TAG website and register for that meeting. So, and we look forward to getting 100% participation, not just from Discovery, but from every TAG or STAR team. So get on there, get registered as soon as you can. Helps us plan and secure the hotel and the type of rooms that we need. So get on there and register as soon as you can on that. With that said, as Brian mentioned, we want to keep these STAR team live meetings based on what you guys want to do, right? We want to customize it. We don't want it just to be TAG coming and maybe we think this is something you guys are interested in and none of you are. So we want it to come from you guys, and we'll help develop their curriculum, help people develop any presentations, of course. But we want you guys to come and tell us what we want to talk about during this day and a half, because that, as Jeff also mentioned, the interaction with each other is critical. So with that said, anyone have any thoughts, ideas for that live meeting agenda, and so we can start making that plan and get that agenda out to you before before the Christmas holiday. So anyone got any ideas? Steve Sautel, how about you? We'll start with you again.
Well, I think it's, if we could somehow weave in, what we're doing and how we can more effectively build recurring revenue for each of our businesses. I mean, clearly that's something, a goal that we have individually, and, if we could kick that around at our Discovery group meeting, I think that would be relevant and helpful and beneficial to everybody.
Good. Yeah, no, that's obviously something we're all striving for. Howard mentioned it a few times during his talk today as well. So that's definitely something we can put together, and it'll either be a tag presentation or, get a member to present on it and get that done.
Hey, Dave, why don't you go to a Word document so you can type up, that way we can see the different topics that are being just talked about? Thanks.
Hey, Dave, Dale again. We've pretty much put together a program for the phone suite. Don't know if there's any interest in the Star Group, but we could maybe take a look at a complete program of the door knocking, and also look at what we're doing with door knocking for a prospecting, and that's pretty much documented right now. Last month, I think we sold 67 seats of Freedom IQ, another 50 seats being sold here in December. We brought on a $3,400 managed services that's going to go to about $13,000 a month, and a high percentage of that was from the door knocking aspect of it. Don't know if we want to spend time doing that, or if everyone's pretty much comfortable from the web shares that we've done on this. Just an idea.
What do you guys think of that?
I think it would be a good thing.
All right.
Gary here, I vote for the voiceware.
Got it. I think the paperwork and the procedures and everything that VoiceSmart and Dale and his team have put together is definitely something worthwhile. So we'll definitely put that on there.
Let me ask another question, Dave. I know we talked about, Dale mentioned the budgeting process. Do we have enough time to where we could kick off, we have a pending event here with this live Discovery team date. Can we have everybody, if we gathered all the information now, could we have everybody's budget ready to provide to them and go through a process of not going through individual budgets, but at least how they should monitor it, adjust it, so on, moving through 2014? We have their budget prepared for this date?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could definitely get them done, and as long as I don't get them on the 15th or something of January. But absolutely, if that's something the group wants to do and is committed to that, we could definitely bring them, have a quick, a portion of the meeting to talk about the budgets. One of the other things another group does is it's a little bit of accountability, right? Knowing that I have a budget out there, I want to achieve my budget, and if you tell someone about it, you kind of hold yourself accountable that way. So it's just something we can do to help hold each other accountable to go after it.
The team, what everybody thought? Any thoughts on having the budget being a component of your meeting?
And hey, Brian, I don't mind having VoiceSmart's numbers out there for everybody. I mean, I'll share every number on the budget if they want to see a format and how we've gotten to the format and how we incorporate the 12 economic indicators and the various, budgeting processes that we do. I mean, I don't care who sees my numbers.
Sure, no, and that's a given. We always share our numbers, obviously, to everybody. But no, I would think that would be a given for this meeting. So, yeah, no, excellent. Well, I guess from the team's perspective, is this something, yes or no, in terms of anybody like the idea, not like the idea, spending time on having a budget already prepared for you, having it ready for you when you come and having a discussion regarding it?
Well, I have a question.
I like the idea.
I have a question on the budgeting. So can you explain like what the principles are? And I'll tell you quite candidly what we've struggled with at BTI is we've expanded our company. We've expanded geographically, and as we've done so, the new markets that we've added on have grown, and we've sort of taxed our older markets as the newer markets grew. And at the same time, because my partner and I, Scott, who's on the call, are the ones doing a lot of the innovating, right? We end up doing a lot of the selling. Where we're struggling right now is to get to the point where we can have a branch that sells when we're not there. And we think the formula for that is something that we have, and we're spending an awful lot of money to get to that formula. But I suspect our budget is quite a lot different than a single site tag member. So could I ask that we have some one-on-one time to discuss that?
No, absolutely. We can do that any time. That goes for all of you, right? To feel free to call me at any time. The multiple site, we could definitely work on, adjust the budget to where we have multiple site budgets and it all rolls into an overall. Dale Johnson, myself now for 2 years, we've been looking at numbers and know what the metrics are out there. We won't just look at your total. Now we break it into the different buckets that we're talking about, new installs, the recurring revenue, and really understand what your key drivers are for your profitability, right? And if you just look at a total P&L and look at your revenue and the bottom line, you're not really understanding what's driving that. If you pushed harder in one area, you could increase profit tenfold versus pushing harder in one area and maybe just barely increase profits at all. So what we try and do is get everyone to understand where the profit comes from and how do you drive to that and how do you drive the revenue for each of those different buckets. So as far as geographics concerned, we can do the same thing, just we do it for each one of your locations. So that wouldn't be a problem, Eric, at all.
Okay.
And then Eric, I know you and I know your team is heading up to Seattle, I believe, with Dave. So you'll get some tremendous insight based off of the model that Dave and Dale will share with your team.
Yeah, we are not confirmed for that, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
Brian, just so you know, Scott and I are not confirmed for that, but I think we would benefit from it.
Yeah, I think you would, and like I said, you're close enough as well that if you need, you just come down or I come up. So do it over the phone, whatever. And that goes for anybody. We can do it quite a bit one-on-one on the phone and doing web shares. So. But that financial class for all of you, when it's in your area or at any time, it's not just going over numbers. It's how do you make money in this business? How do you make money in the different areas of the business and understanding what drives your economics? So, highly recommend going to the financial class as well as this budgeting process. All right, any other thoughts or ideas for the live meeting?
I have one. So it sounds like I would like to learn more and collaborate more on the transition to, to selling IT managed service. And I'm not sure what's needed for that, but I've been working very hard in my spare time, and a lot of my staff has been working hard to figure out how we're going to make that leap. And it seems like we have tremendous opportunity within our customer base. I've got one customer with 300 seats that sort of verbally said, this seems like a really good idea. We've got more than one customer that said that. We have one customer that signed up, but they're just signed up at this point for a future commitment. What we're really using Continuum for in this first deployment is stuff that we would have done by ourselves anyway, but it's going to grow to a lot more and eventually encompass their whole organization, which will be about 100 seats. But we're just at the very beginning stages of that. And if there's somebody on the team that's further down the road with that, I think, hearing and having a good Q&A session with them would be very helpful, both on a technical, operational level and on the sales level. To me, that seems like we're sending some people to customer advocacy training this week, and that seems to be the place where we're going to incrementally add the most gross profit margin. That and the pull through other maintenance and recurring revenue services as we deepen our relationship with our clients and become more intimate with them seems to be where we're going to drive most of the profit in our businesses going forward. I don't know about you, the other guys on the call, but CDW resells all of our products. So if we're not adding a lot of value through intimacy with the customer, we're not able to really get any margin of profit at all on a transaction with a customer.
Yeah, and I think that's a great conversation piece for the Discovery team, but I also want you to know, Eric, we're having a managed data solutions class that we talk about managed services down here in San Diego on the 12th and 13th. Highly recommend.
Yeah, everything that you asked for, please get registered for the data class down here. VoiceSmart will be down here. We're number 2 with Continuum of all the tag members. We got, we're doing some pretty interesting things out in the cloud. All my guys will be here. Everything that you've talked for and everything you need to do, that class is geared for 100% of what you're trying to do.
So that class would be good for some operations people too?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Scott and I need to talk about that then.
Yeah. Here in San Diego on the 12th and 13th.
Okay. That's all right. Thank you.
You got it. Well, I know we're pushing, trying to keep these calls, around the 45 minutes, less than the hour. Keep everybody, get you guys back selling, making some money. But before we do, any other thoughts on the live meeting? All right. Well, we'll continue to noodle it. If you think about it, and you have something you want to discuss with the group, talk about with the group, just give me an email. We'll put the agenda together here in the next couple weeks and get that out to you and get ready for the Discovery Star meeting on the 16th and 17th, I believe, in San Diego. So prior to that, we'll probably just plan on going to the live meeting. No need to have a conference call before that. If we do, it will be just to go over an agenda or something, just to finalize a few different things. But plan on registering for the live meeting 16th and 17th in San Diego. So with that, any comments? Steve Sautel, Matt member, do you have any final words, thoughts, or comments right now?
Nothing I can think of, Dave. Just looking forward to seeing everybody in January.
Yeah, me too. Open it up to any general comments for anyone else. wanted to thank Howard again for walking us through, letting us get to know Daytel, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody in San Diego. And look for an email from me, probably early next week after, to discuss, to get the agenda for the meeting, so everyone has that, plenty of time to prepare if we need to. And then feel free to send me your budget information or reach out to me, and we'll get that going as well. So I appreciate everyone getting on the call, everybody, but a couple people couldn't make it today, so we had a good turnout. We knew 2 companies couldn't make it, but other than that, everyone else from the Discovery team's here, so appreciate it.
Hey, Dave.
And look forward to seeing everybody. Go ahead, Brian.
Just real quick, so Dave, I know we've had some new additions to this team. After the call, Dave will send out a new contact list, so everybody has, BTI's contact information, Dominion, as well as Daytel. So everyone will have each other's contact information. Dave will send that out. And then Janet will also send out later today the invite for the Discovery Star Team meeting as well. So you'll have all that information. That's it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.